In a quiet American town, three best friends, Jake, Ethan, and Tyler, were bound by more than just friendship. They were brothers, the kind of friends who knew each other's deepest fears and greatest dreams. Growing up, they shared everything: their first heartbreak, their failures, their triumphs, and their most painful losses. Jake was the dreamer, the one with the vision. He had big plans for the future, always pushing for success. Ethan was the steady hand, the reliable one, who kept the group grounded. Tyler was a heart of their friendship, the one who always believed in them when they doubted themselves. But as they grew older, life began to pull them in different directions. Jake moved to the city to chase his career, eventually becoming a successful entrepreneur. Ethan stayed behind, taking over the family business, becoming a local hero in the town. Tyler, always searching for purpose, joined the military, eager to serve his country and prove his worth. They promised each other that no matter how busy life got, no matter how far apart they would always make time for each other. But success has a way of consuming you, and slowly the promises they made as kids began to fade. They stopped calling, stopped texting, stopped showing up. The distance between them grew as their careers and lives took priority. Years passed, and their success became everything. Jake opened a chain of businesses, climbing to the top of the corporate world. But with every promotion, every deal he closed, he found himself more and more alone. He was surrounded by people, but none of them understood him like Ethan and Tyler did. He kept pushing forward, thinking success would fill the emptiness, but it didn't. Ethan, meanwhile, ran his family business like a well-oiled machine. He became a respected figure in their town, admired by everyone. But as the business grew, so did the pressure. He had no time for anything outside of work. His friendships, his personal life, everything took a backseat to the responsibility he felt. Tyler had been deployed overseas, fighting for his country. He had always been the quiet, strong one, but the military had changed him. It wasn't just the physical scars, it was the mental toll, the feeling of being forgotten by the very people who had once been his closest friends. He felt alone, disconnected, and distant. His letters went unanswered, his calls ignored. Then came the phone call that would change everything. Tyler had been injured in a mission. The injury wasn't life-threatening, but it was serious. The moment Jake and Ethan heard the news, they didn't react the way they thought they would. Instead of rushing to Tyler's side, they both froze. They were too busy. Jake had business meetings to attend, and Ethan had deadlines. They told themselves they'd visit when they had time, when things calmed down. But life had gotten so overwhelming, and they had become so absorbed in their success that they didn't realize how much time had passed. Tyler needed them, and yet they weren't there. It took a harsh realization for both of them to understand what they had lost. They saw the signs, the loneliness in their eyes, the empty spaces in their lives, and the silent message they had been sending each other for years. Success, wealth, and status couldn't replace the bond they once had. The call to action came when they heard that Tyler was close to returning home, not as the man he once was, but as someone deeply broken, physically and emotionally. For the first time, Jake and Ethan realized what was truly important. They dropped everything. Jake canceled important meetings. Ethan shut down the business for a week. They both drove back to their small town, not knowing if they could even repair the damage they had done to their friendship. When they reached Tyler's home, they saw him sitting alone in the living room, his eyes weary, his spirit shattered. He looked up at them, and for a moment there was silence. The three men stood there, years of unspoken words between them, the weight of their neglect hanging heavy in the air. Jake, broken and regretful, was the first to speak. "Tyler, I'm so sorry I wasn't there. I thought success was everything. I was wrong." Ethan, equally guilty, stepped forward. "I thought I could handle everything on my own. I should have been here for you, for both of you." Tyler's voice was low, but it carried a depth of emotion. "I didn't need your success. I didn't need your achievements. I just needed my friends." That moment, those words changed everything. They sat together for hours, talking about their mistakes, their fears, their regrets, and most importantly, their bond. Tyler shared how much he had struggled, how alone he had felt. Jake and Ethan shared their own battles with success, with pressure, and with the realization that they had lost themselves in the pursuit of something that didn't matter. From that day forward, the three men vowed never to let life or success pull them apart again. They rebuilt their friendship not based on what they could achieve, but on who they were to each other. Success had taught them many things, but the most important lesson was this: true success is found in the relationships you build, the people who stand by you, and the bonds that never break. Moral of the story: life will always try to pull you in different directions, but the true measure of success is the people who walk beside you through it all. Don't wait until it's too late to realize what really matters.